and welcome to episode 56 of the Coffee Club podcast. We've got an extremely special guest today, Miss, sorry.
You are Mrs.
We're off to a flaming start.
Bombshell.
Yeah, she's got married. No, it's Elise Cranny. How you doing, Elise?
I'm truly honored to be on the Coffee Club. I didn't think I would ever get the invite, so.
I think, however honored you're feeling, we're more honored to have you on here because anyone who's followed our podcast knows that we've made a lot of fun out of your team, the Bowerman Track Club.
Otherwise known as
Bowel Movement Track Club. Look, I tell you what, when we were composing the text to ask Elise Cranny on, I think I was sweating for a while. And then when I think you sent the text through, when you responded, it was a longer response. So I thought it was a response saying like, sorry, but no. So when I was reading it, I was like waiting for the no, and there was no. I was like, oh my God, we've done it. We've got Elise Cranny.
I showed them our text.
It was a team message.
We were so hyped. It was great. So
I left you for a couple hours too, so if you were sweating, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was sweating it up.
I'm sorry to leave you for a couple hours.
Sweating it up.
Honestly, but it's like so this is episode 56, so that's 55 episodes so far, about an hour each. That's just a lot of time to say a lot of things if you think about it. And like, especially early on, there was so much.
Are you defending why you
No. I'm more just saying, I know that we have said a lot of negative stuff, but I can't remember the specifics. So,
We've said okay.
Also,
I listened to your
stuff.
first couple ones. I'm not going to lie, there was a decent amount of hate you were throwing toward Bowerman.
No, we definitely were.
It might have definitely...
I think
turned me off the podcast for a bit.
No, I think we turned off a lot of people probably with that. But I do think that we do give some positives in there. We throw some nuggets in there.
Occasionally.
Well, we
do.
I mean, we like, especially you guys that we know as individuals. I don't think we shy away from praising you guys for all your positives, and I think that's universal. Like in the running world, everyone is very good at like praising people, but then there are the negative things which people talk about behind closed doors. But we just put a camera there, and we got the microphones.
I appreciate that because we have talked about, we're like, if you're talking about this on runs, it's like you might as well just like talk about it to the world.
Yeah. We're just hoping that we're giving out. We're stirring the pot. We're giving out a lot of stir in the pot. We're giving out a lot of shit. We're hoping to receive some hate or some bit of stirring backwards to us, because I feel like we do need and deserve it. We do deserve it 100%. I 100% deserve it, and I feel like I've been getting it in bits and pieces, but not enough as I should be. So hopefully I can receive more hate.
I was wondering actually, because in your response, it was something like, I'd love to be on the infamous Coffee Club, which is I feel like quite an intentional choice of words.
What does that mean?
I'd love to know what our reputation is.
Oh, it's not great. It's not great.
I feel like
on your team.
I mean, I feel like you hate on our team. So I have to be the Bowerman member to.
You're gonna come in and just roast us, which would be great. Does Grant Fisher listen to the podcast? He has his own podcast, right?
Yeah. You guys listen to the Half Step podcast?
I actually did listen to that. Pretty good. Yeah, he's not bad. But I wanted to ask, did Grant hear about our idea for him?
Oh, Grant's Girls.
What was your idea?
Grant's Girls.
No.
So it's an idea to start like a dating show around Grant Fisher.
Oh.
To find him the perfect woman.
Because he's just the most eligible bachelor.
He really is.
That's what we decided.
We decided that in track and field,
he's the most eligible
bachelor, and we could make a lot of money. And Grant's happiness as well.
You can monetize that.
Of course.
But Grant's Girls, I think, would be a classic hit. Maybe NBC, we could picture to them.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fantastic.
I think you guys should.
Should we bring it up?
That didn't come up in team chat?
I don't know.
No one heard that nugget?
It very well could have come up in the guys' team chat.
No one heard that nugget.
Is Grant in Colorado this week?
He is.
You
guys can bring it up to him tomorrow.
We'll get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod, and you can bring it up with him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would love that show.
So we're actually going to see him tomorrow. There's kind of a lot going on. We said last week that like there wasn't much going on, but there was kind of a lot of extra stuff outside of running going on. We still got that going on. We've had a pretty busy week, and tomorrow, which this won't be the highlight of our week, I guess, because we have Joe and Sage's wedding on Sunday. I was about to say this is going to be the highlight.
But we can't say that. Red flag.
We're heading out to Lewis the Child at Red Rocks with a big crew. There's a bunch of Bowerman people going, and a bunch of us people going. On Athletics Club, a couple of I guess just Joey, I think.
Yeah, but he counts as tinfoil elite.
He represents
It's uniting. Everybody's uniting under one banner and having a good time.
This is our dream.
This is our dream. This is what we wanted. Everyone's going to have a good time, enjoy it. The only problem is United Airlines Track Club is not going to. I don't think
anybody not going to be in attendance.
Not in attendance, unfortunately.
Wait.
But just invite Pete. He lives here.
Pete Julian.
I was about to bring up Craig Ingles, but I don't know. He's probably not going to be there.
Craig's probably not going to be there.
Yeah, is he gone? He was in Colorado.
I think he's still here.
He's still here.
Okay.
But I don't think he's coming, and also I don't know.
Craig Right Angles? No, he wouldn't be coming though. I don't think.
We'll maybe see him there.
We might see him. Who knows? Sometimes Craig pops out of the bushes and he's just there.
Yeah.
Ready to have a good time.
That's honestly often how it is. But yeah, so we're very excited for that. Ollie and I went to a concert last night at the Red Rocks Amphitheater. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Most electric night of our lives.
I think that my life has changed completely now after that.
Really?
It was probably one of the best concerts I've been to. It was unreal.
It was just 3 hours. They played for 3 hours.
3 hours.
And they just go hard.
What made it so electric?
It just, the drum solos, the guitar riffs, they went so hard. It's just like, it's hard to... Also, the crowd around us, like...
The crowd was going crazy.
We've been to certain concerts and stuff, and I'm also like a person that doesn't move too much when I go to a concert. Like,
oh, you know how to move your hips.
Sometimes. you know how that. But I felt like at this one, like, there's a certain crowd that everyone just went so hard. There's a guy next to us who literally was jumping up and down for 3 hours. Like, just... unbelievable stamina. It
was just like the most devout, is that a word? Devout
cult following.
Yeah.
It's just everyone was obsessed with them. It was awesome.
Electric. And so they do these marathon 3 hour sets, and they did one the night before it as well. So they were back-to-back nights, and like the guys next to us, for example, went to both nights. And like they played different sets the 2 nights. So these guys had just done it 2 nights in a row, just going absolutely crazy. So yeah, we're not
dedication.
Like, we're not like that
dedicated?
level.
No,
but still, like once you go to the show, you're like, oh, I get it. Like it's pretty fucking sick. So
like, would you go back, Morgan?
100%. Yeah, they're gonna be here in a month, so you should come back. You should come in a month.
I mean, I would buy tickets.
Yeah,
I think George would love it.
I think he would.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It looked fucking good.
It was a lot of fun. So that's what we're going on. We got that, and then Joe and Sage's wedding.
You're a big Sunday night.
Which will be fun. I don't know.
The dream team are getting a tying the knot. It's pretty fantastic. I have seen Sage's dress. Looks fantastic. I haven't seen Joe's suit yet. I'm hoping it'll be fantastic.
Are you guys in the wedding?
I hope to say a speech. I mean, like I'm not scheduled to say a speech, but I will say something.
Give me a Michael Scott speech.
I will get up and say something. Yeah, I'll push over whoever's carrying. If Sage's dad's carrying down the aisle, I'll just push her out of the way. No, she's my teammate.
Just take care of it. No, Dathan might do that.
Dathan might do that for sure.
Dathan will speak.
So we had also practice started this week on Monday for us. It was our first like official team practice all together. We had a team meeting to start off, and Dathan took credit for their marriage.
Really?
Yeah.
He took credit, even though they were dating for like I want to say 3 or 4 years before that.
Yeah, they were literally dating in college, and he just goes, "Yeah, but they propose when we're a team, so we take credit." It's like, no, that's just not how it works. Like,
if Dathan's going to take credit,
that's a poor move.
I think we can take credit.
I think we can take credit because
we did something.
We did probably, yeah.
Or not.
What did we do?
Nothing. I don't know. But so that's been what's going on with us. But what we hyped up, actually we didn't talk about it much on the podcast last week, but anyone that's following us knows that the biggest event that happened in our lives last week was the Gala.
Biggest event of the year.
That's what they're saying. That's what I've been hearing on the streets.
I've been hearing on the streets. People won't stop talking about it. We won't stop talking about it. Elise was in attendance.
Yeah.
I missed the first annual.
When did you turn up?
When?
What time did you turn up?
The right time. Just the perfect
time.
I came at exactly the right time that George had picked some fresh mint from somewhere.
I was restocking
the mint. He offered me a Moscow Mule and I never got it.
What?
So that significantly decreased my review of the Gala.
On the bartender.
Do you know whose fault that is actually?
Is it mine?
No, the Gabs. No surprise there.
What happened? Did you steal a drink?
Because...
Call her out.
Wait, did you show up with her?
No, I showed up like right after her.
Or maybe just at the same time. I made, you, Woody, the Gabs, and Katie showed up at the same time. I made 4 mules, and I gave them all to Gabby, and I said, take these other 3 to Woody, Katie, and Elise. And she said they got them.
She didn't deliver.
She actually went and drank them all herself.
She's a poor waiter then. Woody's outfit.
Yeah, what did you guys think?
Fantastic. Well, George did mention he wanted Oktoberfest for the gala. As a theme.
I did suggest it.
He did suggest it.
How did you guys decide on graphic tees?
We wanted to make something easier and more simple because our last theme, people got really confused.
Yeah, we wanted to be as straightforward as possible, but somehow Woody still interpreted it so for context, he turned up in Oktoberfest gear, which he had just come from attending, I think, the real Oktoberfest. So I think he wanted to flex. He came up to me. He's like, it's still a graphic tee. I'm like, it's just not.
It's not a graphic tee. It's like it's not. Like, there's a lot of things that can be like, oh, you can kind of get away with it being like a graphic tee. That's just completely.
He was wearing like the flannel.
There's a flannel t-shirt
with like the overalls.
The pattern and the overalls. He was wearing the full thing.
He kept coming up to me and saying, I want to play this Wisconsin game, and he kept mentioning the name of it, and I can't remember it. But he kept saying like, have you played that? And I said no. And he's like, but you went to Wisconsin. I was like, yeah, but I'm from Australia. I don't reside in Wisconsin. But is there some drinking game you wanted to play?
I would love to know what he's talking about. Maybe we'll find out tomorrow.
We'll find out tomorrow.
But
maybe we'll play it at the tailgate.
Yeah. But to start off our gala talk, I think Elise, you should just like say like how awesome it was, or just be honest, because like we're gonna like talk so much shit about it. So like actually, like how was it? Did you have a good time?
It was absolutely incredible. The poster to sign walking in was really truly iconic. That was just great welcome situation. You guys had some incredible tunes.
Shout out Morgan.
Yeah, the drink service, I'm gonna have to give like a 1 out of 10.
No,
but other than
I let the team down here. Did you get your own drink?
No, I didn't. But I was like 3 tequila sodas in before I got here, so I think I was set.
That's a good place to be.
So you were at a good vibe.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty upset about that.
See, the thing is though, it's very surprising because George is actually a really good bartender, and he's actually very catering. So that was very surprising to hear that.
He had his fresh mint. I was like, this is
we ran out, so I had to go get more.
He went to get more mint.
Wait, but I told you.
Are you guys growing mint like outside?
We do grow mint.
But I told you to come get it at the bar, but then you didn't.
I did. I ventured outside into the backyard.
And then so instead, I gave them to Gabby because you didn't show up.
Okay, it's
okay. I shouldn't trust
Classic miscommunication.
I am shocked by how many like people you had from out of town for this event.
Yeah, so we flew in.
We flew in people because we couldn't fill the roster.
Well, I guess we didn't really fly them in, but pretty much we talk it up like all year. So we just tell our friends like, hey, you got to come for this. You got to come for this. And like, I mean, some of them end up coming.
And it's so
amazing.
I'm impressed with the dedication.
So we should.
There were so many people that I met, and they were like, "I'm from New York," and I was like,
"So yeah, I was gonna shout out Tom Wang.
I met Tom.
That's who you're talking about. Yeah. So this is the story behind him. If you didn't hear it, and for anyone listening, don't know, Tom Wang is a super fan of the podcast. That's how we know him.
Really?
Yeah.
No joke.
Early days.
Early day podcast.
He's like a super fan, and so I sent him an invite to the podcast. I mean, to the gala on Wednesday, I think it was. And it was like late at night. I sent him an invite. He's like, oh, don't tease me. I'm like, no, you can actually come if you want. And then like ended the conversation. Next morning, went back to it. And then I FaceTimed him. Mm-hmm. And Ollie and I were just sitting here and we were kind of just talking like, man, like we haven't really done much preparation yet. Like, what do we need to do to make this party fun?
No preparation.
And so then we called Tom Wang and we asked him, and he kept having these really good ideas. Like, pretty much all the cool stuff that happened was his idea.
This was his idea. Polaroid was his idea.
The Polaroid, the signing. It was all Tom Wang.
Stuff was Tom's idea.
So he was telling us on the phone, I'm like, Tom, like this is like too much. Like you just have to come out here and do it.
And help us out.
And help us out. And he booked a flight for 2 hours later from that time.
Oh my God.
And then he came, and then he was the most amazing person ever. He just helped out so much with the preparation, and he honestly contributed so much to the party. So thank you, Tom Wang, for coming.
I think the level of enjoyment,
90% of the success.
Yeah, the level of enjoyment and the success from this year's gala was from Tom. Yeah, he did a great job. He really like. Some of the ideas, I was like, why didn't I, we just didn't even think of it.
Clearly, he parties a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
Not that surprising.
Showing you the ropes.
But, yeah, so we had him flying, which was amazing, and then had some Wisconsin people come in. And then a big one for Ollie and I as well is we had some of our gamer friends come in. Which are friends from, we have a friend group from a small town in Ohio. Which we've only
through gaming?
Through gaming. Just online friends. We had never met any of them except for one who like we're pretty good friends with, Avery, and they all came out and it was like the coolest thing ever.
I think also Darian had never been to has he been to a party before?
I don't know if he's been to a party, but he hasn't done too much.
He hasn't experienced a gala.
No, he definitely not experienced a gala. Sure. So
how was their experience?
I think they had a good time.
I think they had a great time. It's kind of weird because they're very young, so I'm not gonna say exactly how young. I mean, they're of age. They're definitely of age.
But it's just a different crowd because a lot of us are a bit older than them, and they're also just meeting people. Like I know, like Avery for example, like he's a big fan of running and seeing people walk past. He's like, wow, like I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah,
it's a unique experience for them. So they had a great time, I think.
So yeah, I think everyone there had a good time. Honestly, it was really good for us to party also for the first time with like our new teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay,
Yared.
Before we get to Yared, I was gonna say I think like it's not even like disputed. I'm probably gonna give him my MVP. I don't know if you guys.
MVP is Yared as well for me. I mean, Tom Wang setting up.
Yeah,
MVP.
That's
MVP for cleaning afterwards. Tyson. MVP of the night. Yared niggas. No one's near him.
Did you see him, Elise? He was just having the best time ever.
I saw him. His sister was also vibing. I met his sister. She was wonderful.
Yeah.
His sister was vibing a little too hard.
With the spraying champagne in our living room.
Yeah, I was gone, but I heard about that. Yeah. She just walked in the door apparently at the end of the night and
started spraying champagne.
Yeah.
Went everywhere.
Which is a cool move, I guess.
It's a pretty cool move when you don't host the party, you know?
It's not your house.
It's not your house.
And you don't have to clean up the next day.
Not to expose Yared. He's probably listening in the background right now, but he has no memory of throwing up. And then like 3 people have told me, yeah, I just saw Yared throwing up so much.
George Mills said he literally projectile vomiting. But he felt good the next day, so that's a good move, you know, like get it all out of your system, and then you're all right the next day.
This is the second time we've exposed Yared for puking. The first episode he was on.
Oh yeah,
he was puking
in your sink, right?
In Flagstaff.
Yeah, but he had an amazing. He was so much fun.
Yared, he was just dancing, just loving it.
He was amazing. MVP of the night.
Just bringing such good vibes. So we love him so much. Is there any other notable performance from the night? I can't really remember. Honestly, it was just a fun night. I think. We did. I'm going to give credit to us. So last year, Elise, we overhyped it so much, and then it was like just like okay, like it was fun.
I was gonna say, how did the second annual compare to the first?
It's like a million times better.
Well,
really?
Yeah. Because the first one was like it was good, it was fun, but it was way more chill, and our house was set up differently. Where like there was a basement area where we made a complete dance floor out of. We had lights and we had like blackout shades and stuff, and no one went down there.
It just didn't go off in the way we wanted it to.
And whereas with this one, it's more spread out, and it was easy for people to like dance in the living room and in that section downstairs, and like people did it, and it was just like I think it was really good situation because like when people started turning up, then people started dancing. It was like a short few hours of that, and then as soon as it hit like midnight, everyone just left. It was like perfect for a house party.
Do you feel like the second subwoofer was a good investment?
100%. Yes. Yeah. Because downstairs, I was seeing certain people vibing with that second subwoofer.
Some good vibes downstairs.
Munchies.
Yeah.
A gaming friend of ours, he was vibing. Darian was vibing. I mean, most of the gamer guys were just downstairs vibing. And then Bureau Kart was happening too.
Yeah, so we played my first time playing Bureau Kart. Do you know what that is, Elise?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of that, but that's Yared's like favorite game. And also it sucks to play with him because he's like amazing at Mario Kart.
He's unstoppable.
So he just destroys you, but that was a very fun experience. But I do have to agree with Ollie that my favorite thing was just like people were actually dancing a lot.
Yeah. That was my favorite.
So it was a very, very good vibe in here. You could just vibe in here, dance, and then outside was like, I guess more talking and stuff. I don't know. I didn't spend that much time out there.
Emily Oren, our former teammate, was trying to leave. Like she's like, "Oh, we better get going." She turns around, her husband's doing the worm on the floor. She's like, "We're not going anywhere." And then so she left her car here, and I think they got an Uber or a Lyft home because they both just drank a lot and had a really fun time. And that's what it was all about, really. Just about blowing off steam and having a good time. So
you guys nailed it.
I think
not to
except for the drinking.
Now the next one's going to be shit because now we're like, oh yeah, like we throw the best parties, and now the next one's going to be a letdown because that's what happened the first year.
No, but now you know. Like Tom's taught you everything you need to know.
We need to fight.
As long as Tom's here every year.
If we can keep like building on that, maybe it just gets bigger and better.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or it just goes downhill.
Just spend more money on it. I
Mario
think.
with the ice cake.
I was going to say
that was actually very good too.
I think, did you see that or were you not here yet? So it was like,
oh god, that actually put me over the edge.
Mario pulled a cake out of his room, and it was like
candle.
He had a candle for like 1 year, and it was like Coffee Club's 1 year birthday.
Yeah.
And so we all went outside, and then he's like, cut the cake, and we try cut into him like, why isn't this working? And like it's like, are we that drunk or like what's happening? Like we're trying to cut, it's not working. And then he's like, oh, reach in there, and then we grab it out, and it was like just 3 Smirnoff ices covered in icing and whipping cream, and then so the 3 of us got iced.
Was he just like up there making it in his room?
Yeah.
He literally cut out
there was no cake.
There was no cake. He cut it out and then just put the frosting over like these 3 ices, and then we had to
ding dong. Get him, Gus.
And then we had to like pretty much just take down an icy. That put me over the edge though. That's when I started to go, yep, there's no turning back now.
Yeah. Honestly, I did not expect that at all. And so that was very fun. So yeah, anything else from the gala?
Gus had a pretty quiet night.
Gus does not like galas. He was in my room hiding for most of the night. I felt really bad for him.
I think he was having a decent time.
Initially he did, and then after that he's like, screw this noise, I'm going downstairs.
He's been changing his personality a little bit with his old age. He's
becoming
he's becoming a little less friendly, like around lots of people.
Gus update, he actually loves just chilling in my room, being a loner. The past like week. Like Jenna's noticed it too. George's girlfriend has noticed that he just like he'll go downstairs and just won't come back up. But
he's actually an introvert.
He's introverted now.
Maybe we thought he was an extrovert, but then too many people come over and then he disappears.
We just have too many friends.
You guys are becoming too popular.
Yeah.
Gus is becoming too popular.
Yeah.
The fame has gotten too much for him.
It's getting to his head. He's like no autographs.
To be by himself.
Yeah.
No autographs.
But yeah, I get that. I mean, maybe he's just going through something. Is he a teenager yet?
When he turns 2 in December, he'll be 14. So he's like, that's teenage.
Maybe he's going
early teenage years.
Yeah, I guess
preteen. He's a preteen.
That can be a tough time.
It is a tough time right now. He's trying to figure out like what is life and
who he is.
Who he is. Yeah.
Who am I?
He's doing some deep soul searching.
Like I'm already a CEO and I'm 14. I'm Coffee Club. Like what else is there to do?
Infinitely successful already.
Yeah.
Where do I go next?
He feels like he's peaked. I think he has nothing to look forward to.
Honestly, I thought that I peaked when I was 12 as well, so I can relate to that, guys. It's not easy, man. It just gets harder, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm still figuring that out now. So moving on from the gala, Elise, thank you very much for coming. It was awesome to have you there. I think we should talk about returning to team practice this week because it's going to be like the one running thing that we do talk about for us. How have you guys been enjoying it?
I haven't been enjoying it, to be honest. No, I feel like I still want to be on break.
It is a
mentally, like I just physically, like it was fine. Morgan did a very, very nice long run where he dropped the crap out of everyone. He dropped Joe by about 100 meters down a hill.
If you haven't seen Morgan run down a hill, it's something to behold.
He doesn't slow down. He just keeps going. He ran a 5:08 downhill.
Downhill mile.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but it just feels better.
What was your average for the 14-mile long run, Morgan?
Well, it's 15 miles.
Come on. You did 15. I thought you were supposed to do 14.
Yeah, but I did 15 instead.
God. What was the 15-mile average for the long run?
Yeah, it was 5:45, no big deal. First long run back, chilling.
And I know Joe Klecker didn't run 5:45, so you are now the king of long runs.
No, well, I just had some, I'm not going to get into details, but I was assisted. I had the forbidden pre-workout. I had some rage going on inside me.
All your whole angst.
Yeah, I was tapping into some.
That's why I felt so like empty on that run.
I took all these angst. I'm sorry, I can't talk about the podcast. I can tell you after at least. Situation, but yeah, honestly, I can say it works really well because I felt really good.
This is the thing. Okay, I finally have somebody else to relate to because the angst that I was experiencing, like you can get that, you can build it into something pretty good with your running.
It's the Wisconsin angst. But Drew Bosley. Drew Bosley
does it too. However, I also kind of relate to what Emma Bates said last week.
Yeah.
Where she's talking about how like the more energy you put in, the more energy you get back, like kind of thing.
Totally.
I feel that too. So we're learning things. here.
Yeah, I just don't know how to. I think the angst is good, but I think it's just it's a very risky game to play because it's hard to time it up, time it with the you want to time it with say world champs for example, but how do you do that?
Yeah, I know. So at least
your October long run. I think so.
No, that's what I was saying.
In other words, Morgan's ready to race in about 3 weeks.
So if you think about it, at least do you run on angst? Do you get like bit of emotion in there when you run? Are you an emotional runner or kind of just
not usually? But I feel like it would actually bode really well.
I didn't think I was until
until you experienced it. Now you're forever changed, man.
I think Coffee Club could help. I mean, the Bowerman workouts already are unbelievable, but we could help their workouts by if you play our podcast before a workout, they could probably have one of the best workouts ever.
Go back to episode 1, 2, 3, and
that's really what you guys are going for all along.
Yeah. We're just trying to help you guys get the angst.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we thought you guys weren't doing well enough. So we're like,
you guys weren't doing well.
That's why they had such a good year.
Yeah, they had a great year.
Thanks to the Coffee Club podcast.
Because of the angst.
We find a way to take credit for literally everything that happens. I don't know how we do it. But,
Joe and Sage's marriage, Grant's American Records, it's all the coffee club. All you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll take it. George, what about you? You liking it?
I haven't tried it.
No, I mean, how's the return to running going?
I thought whether I was an angst runner or not.
Yeah,
I was pretty focused on that. I ran on the Boost first day of practice, which was actually quite fun. We got a new Boost treadmill, if anyone knows what that is, that I'm gonna utilize to run more than 5 days a week.
Nice.
I will not be using it.
Big progress in my life. Otherwise, is what it is.
Yeah. I feel the same. It's just like it's hard to get back into the training, meeting 6 days a week routine when we've had almost a month. I mean, we have had a whole month of like nothingness.
You know who loves it though? Ritz
loves getting back to it.
It felt like the first day of school. He was so excited. He's grabbing everyone. He's like, "Yeah, we're back!" Everyone's walking in like this with their head down.
He'd printed out all our lifts, which he's never done before, and they're all laid out neatly like on our lockers and stuff.
He had different highlighter for everybody's name, so
different colored highlighters.
So you could see which one's which.
Said he hadn't slept the night before practice.
He was so excited.
He goes, "I'm not one for speeches," and then all of a sudden it's like a 25-minute speech.
You gave a real on speech. It was pretty good though.
Practice is suspiciously early.
Yeah, I think Helen O'Beary has something to do with that.
Yeah, it's tough.
She loves the early start to the day, whereas everyone else is much more content with 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock sounds good.
I was shocked when I saw you guys out there this morning. Yeah, I thought I was going early, and I was like, they must have started early.
So this morning was a bit of an exception because we did have a blood test this morning at like 7. So this morning was especially early, but. Yeah, Helen O'Beary trains at 6 a.m. or 6:15, and so it's made us train at like 8. Well, Ritz wanted us to train at 8 a.m. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I think that's a little too
early. That's
going
to get boycotted for
but
sure.
we have a little workout tomorrow, and it's 8:30, so pretty reasonable.
That was with some Morgan persuasion.
Yeah.
It was 8.
We tried to get it to 9, but then we met in the middle.
At least you got half an hour, I guess, as an extra half an hour.
You bought us half an hour of sleep. I appreciate that.
Except we live like fucking half an hour from our training, so it's
not going to matter anyway.
We're going to be up so early. But Elise, I wanted to ask you, when do you guys officially have to be back?
We have to be back Monday.
Oh, I didn't realize it was so soon.
That's very soon.
Yeah.
Damn.
A couple days left.
Is that everyone? Everyone back?
Everyone back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that back in Eugene, or I guess it is back in Eugene? I guess it's in Eugene, right? Yeah.
I'm flying to Portland Saturday, and then I'll drive to Eugene.
So
make the move.
So you're gonna move from? So I'm guessing you're moving from Portland to Eugene, right? That's a good guess, right? So
yeah, that's a great guess.
Are you
I'll do a 2-hour commute.
I remember speaking to Mark Scott at Com Games. He said that some of the boys are looking at just Airbnb in Eugene and not actually getting a rental. Are you gonna do the same thing?
I was looking at that, but I ended up finding a rental.
Like a decent rental?
I don't know. I actually haven't seen it.
Oh.
I'm kind of scared.
Wow. What if it doesn't exist?
I mean, I hope it does. It looks a little bit like crusty, to be honest. Doesn't look amazing.
It's not a dorm
Sounds
room.
like you.
Is it a dorm room?
No, it's not a dorm room. It's like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. The kitchen is not very nice at all. It's definitely not this place you guys got going on here. But I have yet to see it in person.
Yeah.
I'm a bit afraid, but stay tuned.
That seems kind of scary to move into a place without looking at it, but I guess
you don't have a choice, really.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a weird vibe to move back to a town like Eugene. I mean, personally, we've actually, I don't know if you know, we've hated on Eugene a lot on this podcast, mostly surrounding Hayward Field though, and all that stuff. But I don't know if I would want to live in Eugene or not, because I do like the idea of living in a smaller college town, but the idea of running every day in Eugene just sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, wow, thanks. I'm feeling really hype.
What are your thoughts on that?
Apparently, the running's supposed to be better in Eugene. The running is very bad in Portland.
Yeah, actually,
the running is horrible.
You are coming from Portland. Yeah.
Like we're coming from like turf loops, grass loops, and like 1.5 mile gravel loop.
So it is an improvement. It's just a wood chip, like a lot of
wood chip. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the wood chips, to be honest. Every single day. I don't like the wood chips.
I was talking to Charlie Hunter, and he said that like usually you drive out quite a bit.
Yeah.
To get to trails and stuff like that. So I'm guessing Bowen will probably do the same.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I don't want to run on the wood chips every single day.
Well, there is a turf there next to Hayward Field that I've seen Jerry do workouts with the Oregon team. So maybe you're doing turf loops
turf
anyway.
Loops there.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if we're in Portland or Eugene, yeah.
Still turf loops.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, coming from Colorado, it must be hard coming from Colorado because we do have really good trails here.
Trails everywhere.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's not flag, but...
not flag training.
You think flag is better than
100%.
Colorado.
Jordy thinks that
really?
100%. Look at him.
What makes you say that?
Well, are we talking just Are we talking running still?
Yeah.
Well, have you been there other than January?
No, I did hear a lot of trails are like... Yeah, you can't run on that. You can run on in the summer.
Morgan's excited for this argument.
But there's a million places that you can run here.
Well, then there's 20 million in Flagstaff. Okay, there's more running trails. There,
also we are forgetting.
That's not enough for debate.
There's a key factor that we're missing.
I know what you're about.
It's Michael Smith. Michael Smith is in Flagstaff.
The man, the myth, the legend,
the absolute heartthrob.
We got to start hyping up Mark Wetmore.
No, I'm not hyping up Mark Wetmore. We won't let us on the indoor track.
Yeah, actually, no, you're right.
If you let us on the indoor track, I'd hype him up.
There's I went to Flag recently and did a different long run. There's a million different long run roads, just out and back forest roads. Here, we do the same long run every week, pretty much.
Where do you long run?
The roads back here, the dirt roads.
Roads. But is that where you guys were on Sunday? Did you have is that when you had your Sunday?
That's where he had his Sunday.
No, actually, that was just a 10-mile run we were doing. Where we saw you, but that is where we long run around there often.
We either park at one of the 3 spots, but we run the same place, unless we go up.
You can switch it up though, there's dirt roads. Do you ever go up to Mags? Have you ever run a Batasso?
Yeah, Patasso.
Nice.
Never heard of that before.
See, this is why Elise Cranny's on the pod. She's helping us out with running because we literally do run the same.
We don't run. We go to Rollinsville.
Okay. I've actually never been to Rollinsville, which is also really embarrassing.
We don't go to Mags. I've been a couple of times, but not with the team.
Have you been to Gold Hill?
Riss doesn't let us run there because it's too hilly, apparently.
Okay, I haven't been to Gold Hill either.
Joe's always talking about Gold Hill.
I think this is what sucks is we haven't gone up there yet, and we're about to start doing long runs where it'll make sense to go up there in a week or two, but then
it's gonna
it starts snowing in a month from now.
Yeah.
So it's already pretty cold in the morning, so I'm kind of scared for that.
But the nice thing in Colorado is the sun is usually always out, which means it just melts.
So quickly, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a lot nicer, whereas in Flig, it doesn't melt as quick, does it?
I don't know if that's a fact.
No, it stays forever.
There's way more trees, so there's way more shade.
Yeah, so
you can only run
Flig 0, Boulder 1.
Good
point. Or Twin Arrows. Yeah, and Winona.
And Those Twin Arrows. Twin Arrows is horrible. I hate Twin Arrows.
Twin Arrows is brutal.
Those ridges the whole way? You can't even run on Twin Arrows.
And you can see the cars for the last 6 miles.
Yeah, no. Twin Arrows
I didn't say training in January is good.
Where is there anywhere else you can long run in January besides Winona?
You go to Beaver Creek?
Have you tried the dome?
Yeah.
The Sky Dome?
People would do it, yeah. Wait, would
they
you do
that?
The concourse? The concourse?
Yeah, the concourse loops. That's a classic.
I did some loops there. It wasn't very fun.
You can go to Sedona to long run.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And that's sunny and 70 all year round.
Okay.
You can drive to Phoenix to run.
Yeah.
Which I know you guys have done before.
We did that
you guys do that every day.
Actually. That was actually it was brutal. Yeah. It was your whole day is just gone. You've spent 4 hours in the car.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
That's we can into that.
Yeah, we can. Oh man,
I don't know how we got into
this. This goes real deep. Oh god. But yeah, if anyone didn't know, Elise is a local. She's literally from here, from Niwot. Did you grow up actually in Niwot?
Let's see. I grew up in Gun Barrel and then moved to.
Okay, that's where we live.
Yeah, we used to live in Gun Barrel.
Yeah.
We actually, the coolest thing was during the Tokyo Olympics. I remember going to Niwot Market and there's a massive poster saying "Good luck, Elise Cranny," and there's all these signatures of all the townspeople and stuff. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
We got to walk past that every 2 days. That was great.
That was I thought it was super cool.
It was very cool.
Inspiring.
Yeah. It was inspiring for me to realize that my hometown would probably never do that.
Don't say that.
No, in Australia, you don't think so?
Nah, Cronulla people, they love their rugby league. They don't really love track and field.
Yeah.
So.
Even after
I think they love
you.
you.
Champ.
I did get offered to run the ball out for the local rugby team, which would be sick.
That would be amazing.
So if I can do that, I'll let you know.
Made it.
But I thought that was really cool. Community here seems very much inclusive.
Great community.
So it's pretty nice. Must be really nice growing up around here. I mean, we lived in Gunbarrel for, was it a year?
It was a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit over a year. And it was like such an awesome place to be.
So easy to get
for running.
Yeah.
Now we're out here in Long Tuck. It's good for running, but we drive into Boulder every day. So we're trying to move back there because it's just like too much time in the car, you know?
Yeah. You gonna move back to Gunbarrel? You guys gonna go to Boulder?
Boulder, I think.
We'll go to Boulder because I think we've realized that like we'd rather be able to easily get to a coffee shop or like go somewhere nice and then invest in a drive to a run because it's our job.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the way we're gonna work around it.
Yeah, so that's the goal. But yeah, so we got a hometown hero here. I did hear during the Olympics that because your race was on at like, I don't know what time, like really early in the morning, 5 a.m. And I heard there was just like 1 million people there watching it together, which is just...
That's unreal.
It was really cool. I think it was like 4 a.m. or something, and Niwot Wheelworks, which is like downtown Niwot, they just like had a bunch of people. They put it on the TVs, got some breakfast.
And it was just packed.
Pretty cool.
But there's a bit of this is like a random aside. There's like a full-on Niwot, Stanford-Bowerman, there's more of a Stanford-Bowerman pipeline going on now.
Yeah.
But now all the Niwot kids go to Stanford as well. So it's like, it's the whole way up.
You've opened like this door for...
Look at what you've done.
Niwot to Stanford to Bowerman.
It's just like, that's the way to be successful. You go from Niwot to Stanford to Bowerman. That's how you be successful.
Yeah, if you want to have successful running kids, you got to move to Niwot and make them go there. Because that program is like...
That program is actually...
It's like
it's just absolutely taken off.
Yeah. The women's team is the best in the country now.
Yeah.
So...
The men's team's like third?
I don't know.
And the men's team's pretty good too.
There.
Actually, I don't know if it's third, but I think it's pretty high up too. So... It's just when we go to Niwot, we train at Niwot track. When we go
there, do you feel the magic when you're there?
I do feel the magic. I also feel that they're more professional than us at some points because they're just doing all this other stuff and they turn up to practice when it's like snowing and raining.
They turn up on time probably.
They also turn up on time. Well, that's just, can't argue that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
How do you guys have to turn up on time to practice?
Yeah, I'd say we show up on time, but we usually have to be warmed up by a certain time, and we don't start the workout on time.
Yeah,
particularly the women.
Well, Grant's
usually the guys
drills.
go after us. Yeah,
Grant's got to do his.
He got to do his bands.
Band drills.
Of course.
That's what before, when I was in college, and even before college, that was so this was before your time at Bowerman. That's what I would hear about Bowerman is just they do the longest warm ups ever. Because I would have Australian friends that were training at the same location, and they would turn up after Bowerman and then get their workout done half an hour before them because apparently the time in between your warm up jog and the session starting, it was just the longest thing ever. What are you guys doing in that time?
I feel like Courtney would tell me that years ago when they were in St. Moritz, they were Team Boss was in and out before we even started, and here they are still warming up and they're done with their workout.
Yeah.
And that's how it felt even in some of the meets this summer, you do pre-meet before a race in Europe, and I feel we would be there for so long and they would be in and out, and I'm why is this 30-minute run in strides taking us 2 hours? I'm not sure.
It's tough to compete with Team Boss because Emma is the most efficient punctual person in the world. For me it's been complete opposites because as we just mentioned with us, if we're training at 9 a.m. some people will get there at 9:10 for example. Whereas
are you looking at me when you say some people?
Some people.
Is that you? Are you holding?
Well, the thing is, I'm carpooling, so I usually just blame it on other people when it is 100% me being late. I just say, I'm carpooling.
Different stuff. But
we're also just never in a rush to start. We stand around for a good while.
We do chat for a while.
Yeah, Ritz loves to talk about just random shit if you don't want to start on time. It's very easy to make that happen. Whereas at Team Boss, when I was there, if they say 9 a.m., that means you're leaving for the run at 9 a.m. So if you want to do anything else, you better get there.
You better do it before.
Yeah, you better get there before and get it done because we're leaving at 9 a.m. And then they're just on it,
so
lifting
efficient.
Everything. So it's a different vibe here.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. I kind of can go both ways, honestly.
It can.
Yeah, but we get it done.
Do you have that kind of... So obviously the warm-ups are super long, but do you guys have that kind of chat before practice? Meet
Usually.
up, chat?
If you get Jerry going too, he's probably the same as Ritz. He'll just tell a bunch of random stories and he'll just go for a long time. And then it's okay, let's start.
Do you want to... Wait, I don't know. Were you there when I visited Bowerman? I guess you would have been.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but all I wanted to say was on my visit, I had... Obviously, it's a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
I think you... because there's rules. I think you knew 48 hours. And I spent probably... 6 hours just sitting at a table listening to Jerry talk to a Nike employee about just the most random shit, not even involving me, because it was when they brought out all the new rules with ranking qualification and stuff.
Oh, that'll get him going. Anything with rankings, qualifying, like any like how the sport is run, he will just like.
Yeah, I was just on my visit and I had a plane to catch and it was like getting really close to it. Like when I had to be, it was like past the time when I had to go to the airport. I was just sitting there. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, yeah, I should probably like go to the airport now. Thanks for letting me visit.
I kind of want to know Jerry's opinion on Diamond League races because I feel like you guys don't do a lot of them when you do have the caliber and the athletes to do them. Does Jerry not like Diamond League races? He prefers local? Domestic?
I honestly don't know. When we were there this summer, we were like, we need to do more Diamond League races.
You guys actually this summer
is incredible.
This summer actually there was more Bowerman people out there running.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just you and Grant just doing a lot. I don't remember. Now I'm thinking back at it. I don't remember. But
Woody was out there.
Oh, Woody was
Josh,
yeah.
Courtney.
Oh yeah, Josh was too. Yeah.
There was just the opportunity from the outside. I don't know. You can say if this is true or false. From the outside, it just looks like you guys are just the most like dialed in terms of focusing on world champs or the Olympics, whatever the main goal is.
Big ones.
So it's like everything from like maybe even like a week from now when you start training until world champs is extremely calculated and very controlled. And then after the world champs or Olympics, it's like you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
Jerry just likes, he like really likes to have control. And so he like, we were joking because I like couldn't get into the Brussels 1500 at first. Like I found out a couple hours before.
Oh yeah, you gotta tell us a story about that.
Yeah. So anyways, we were like thinking like, okay, maybe this will make him be like, we should do more Diamond Leagues like earlier on so we can like get into more meets. And his response was like, we'll just have to set up more of our own meets. And you're like, no. That's like the opposite response of what we want.
Does he have any gauge on like social media? Like, does he listen to the hate at all? Does that get to him at all?
I don't think so. I don't think he's on social media or anything.
Think he's heard of the Coffee Club podcast?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
show him
I'll have to ask him if he's giving it a listen.
The first time that Jerry's ever spoken to me was at Tokyo after me and Alicia ran. We were just like cooling down. And he just looked at us and just goes, "Badger tough," and then just walks away. That's the only interaction I've ever had with Jerry Schumacher in my life.
Honestly, I think that's a good thing that I kind of has these like blinders on for that type of stuff because at the end of the day, like he's very just focused on his job. The main goals in his job.
He's very focused.
Whereas like I always say, not to call out previous coaches, like our Wisconsin coaches would sometimes let the public opinion stuff get to them so much, and they would try and act like they didn't. But we were like, there was like this long talk they gave us before a race. It's like people are like talking all this shit about us, and like we weren't really paying attention to it.
That was Mick.
We're like, what are you guys talking about?
That was Mick 100%.
Who are these people?
Mick definitely thought that the way to like get us going, like the angst, was that all these people are hating on us, let's prove them wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like we would be sitting there hearing this for the first time, going, and what the hell are you talking about? Like we're about to race and we just don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, everyone hates us?
Yeah. Should we even turn up?
Wait, is that where the angst originated from? Did Mick instill?
Oh no, that's purely self-inflicted. That's got nothing to do with the. Yeah. I'm now transferring it to Morgan. Morgan's using it now
where
too.
It comes
it's contagious.
Yeah, Jordy's gonna be next.
Yeah, it's
Morgan's about to go off this year, all thanks to the angst.
After that long run, I guarantee it.
We know why. It's at the end of the day, the angst for Ollie and maybe myself, it's always going to be due to women. So that's why it's really hard to
get the timing right.
You can't really plan that stuff out. So that's just how it goes, you know.
It's pretty.
Yeah. So more Jerry talk. So obviously the big thing which we've recently criticized him for is like all the Oregon stuff, which for you guys I imagine was kind of difficult. Like if Ritz just took on like the CU job, would be like,
I'd be like, what the hell?
What the
hell are you doing?
I thought you were my coach.
Because I feel like from what I've experienced with our team, that being a professional coach is a very much like you're invested, and it's like it's a 24-hour job pretty much. And I know Jerry would be 100% in 24 hours with the team at Bowerman, and Bowerman was a pretty big team, and to take on a role like Oregon is like a massive program. He's running it. So as an athlete, I'd be interested to see your viewpoint on like how is that transition going to be with collegiate athletes now taking some time away from your coach, where you've had 100% of his attention. Now you're going to get, I don't know, a certain percentage.
Hopefully a decent
amount.
Hopefully. I mean, I think that was like the initial, when he first told us, I think everyone's initial response was like, that was the question. Like, how are you going to do this? I think Woody asked who's going to be the favorite child. Like, because it is, like, now you're juggling two things, you know? Like, you can't deny that. So I guess we'll see when we get to Eugene. I mean, it's like you said, like, he's so locked in and dialed in and, like, doesn't care what anyone else is saying. And he, like, has a very, like, systematic approach to it. Mm-hmm. So I have no doubt he can do it, but... but yeah, I think that's definitely a concern. Is that's a lot of people to juggle.
It's extremely interesting because he's going to have pretty much unlimited resources with getting coaching staff, right? He's got he's going to have all these assistants and stuff. So maybe that might help as well. But then like if there's too many fingers in the pot, sometimes it gets annoying.
Too many fingers. You always have those fingers. Yeah, no, I agree.
Too many fingers in the pot. You just don't get anything out of it.
Too many chefs in the kitchen.
Too many chefs in the kitchen. That's a better one.
Fingers in the pot is a new one.
Fingers in the pot.
Last week's one?
I don't know.
Kettle of
fish. Kettle of fish. We got some
now we got fingers in the kettle.
Yeah, I'm just coming up with random shit that comes in my head. But in general, like I'm thinking, because obviously, you know, still we really don't have any breaks. Yeah, Budapest 23, Paris 24, and he's taken on a job now where it's going to be extremely difficult to manage. Like he doesn't. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to manage professional athletes and college athletes. Because there must be different levels of coaching and.
There's just one assistant coach each.
For each person. So Elise will have her own assistant coach.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd actually be pretty sweet.
That would be pretty sweet.
No, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like we're gone at altitude so much, and so like I think that's our biggest thing is just like how is that going to work? Because like in the collegiate system, you're racing like pretty much every 2 weeks, like
it's a lot of racing, and he has to be there. Yeah, it's not like he can be like you guys.
As a director of a program, you always have to be there so people can reach you.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the biggest thing is like I think a big like one of the major draws besides like training partners and the team and like. I mean, a lot of things, but like being coached by Jerry. And so I think that was like, I don't know, that's just the thought is like, you don't want to like have less time with your coach. Yeah, it's like, we like Jerry. He's really good at what he does. And, you know, you want him around.
His time's extremely valuable, like any coach. Yeah. It's just interesting because now his time's so limited with traveling. Like you said, you guys are going to be probably in Utah or Flagstaff, or you're going to be at altitude for a very considerable amount of time. So it being with a college system, it's going to be hard for him to get out there and have that time with you, particularly with the workouts, I imagine. Are like pretty important to have your coach there. Yeah, I know for us, it's how we feel with Ritz. Like having Ritz at a workout is pretty valuable.
Yeah, we always want him there. I mean, speaking for myself, we're all very high maintenance.
We're all high maintenance people.
So
I feel like it's important though. Like I don't know, we've talked about that. It's like you can send a coach splits, but like those exact splits can look like two very different ways. Like you can be like
definitely
dying, or like,
and especially when you're doing really hard workouts, which I know you guys do a lot of, just like us. Like those are the ones where you really want your coach there because like things can change. It can be very dynamic, quickly. And you kind of you need someone there. Like I find it really hard to commit like full effort to a workout if Ritz isn't there. If that makes sense. Yeah. If it's a hard one. Yeah. It's like, am I okay to like fuck myself right now?
It's also like the energy. Like a coach brings good energy where you're like, okay, I'm gonna like bring my A game today. Like so and you know when to. Yeah.
When to let it get out of hand or not.
I guess that's what you're going to be navigating. The one thing that I want to ask, do you guys have a good idea of what it's going to look like in terms of, are you guys like full access to like the Oregon facilities and all that now? Are you guys like all like volunteer coaches at Oregon? Like
they just gained 20 new volunteer assistants.
Yeah. Do you know what that would look like?
I don't know. I don't think we have to be volunteer assistants. I'm not sure. But Jerry said we can use the facilities. I think that's like a big...
It's a huge plus. Huge plus. I mean, like, particularly looking at...
make up for a lot of other things.
A lot of the stuff you guys were setting up for a lot of your races, whether it was sound running or whatever in Portland, you now have Hayward Field that you could literally set up any race you want, and Jerry could run any race he wants there. It's like a gold mine to be able to have that facility and just keep using it.
You guys shouldn't do that, though.
No, yeah, because I don't want to keep going to Eugene. I'd rather just come to Diamond Leagues. It's way more fun.
You're going to spend so much money flying into Eugene Airport. That's like the most expensive airport in the country.
Most expensive flight, too.
You'll get a lot of hate from Ollie if that happens.
I will, because I'll be paying like $1,700 to go to Eugene for a race where I could be paying $1,100 to go to London to run a Diamond League.
How do you feel about the Diamond League final being in Eugene the next 2 years?
Honestly, like, I tell you what, I don't feel great about it. However, I think it's going to be good for the American market to get more involved with Diamond League because there's been issues with Sydney McLaughlin and other athletes that are so high standard. Athing Mo, another one. So high standard people. And you want to see them at Diamond Leagues, but you don't. And, like, it's not like you're not getting to... Like, Femke Bol in the 400-meter hurdles is, like, unbelievable. I love watching her race. But having her with Sydney is just like the pinnacle of that event. And it'd be the same with the 800 with Athing Mo and Kelly Hodgkinson and our teammate Sage Herder. Shout out. But I think it'll be good for the American market to maybe get more athletes involved in the Diamond League final because I think if Sydney McLaughlin's thinking, I don't want to travel to Europe and spend all this money, I'd rather stay domestically because it's easier for me. But the Diamond League finals in Eugene, maybe that might change her mind to be more involved with it. So I think it can be a positive thing. The only issue I have with it is because Eugene is so small. It's so hard to, like, when you go to these big Diamond Leagues like in Zurich, you have a big city, you have a lot of turnout, you have a lot of participation. And I think people want to do that in America, but Eugene's a small place to be able to get everyone in there, and it's expensive.
And it's so expensive. I don't think people want to spend $1,000.
No, but I think it'll be a good thing for the American, like for the athletes.
It'll be good for US-based athletes like us.
Yeah.
It'll be weird whether Americans are still interested in track or not, because the last track race before middle of September is going to be in like June.
Yeah,
it's like that's still, like track races end pretty much.
There's a big period between. Maybe it actually builds up anticipation because they're like, I'd like to see another track race again. Oh, the Diamond League finals happening in Eugene, and that could help.
But it will be interesting in general to see how Bowerman's moved to Eugene, and just assuming you guys are going to race there a lot, how that will impact that. Because like last year was a thing where there was so many races at Eugene that they all kind of got diluted a bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, and you already saw it last year with what the what do we call those boys? The new gen guys, Cooper and Cole and all those guys.
The new gen squad, yeah.
Like they were doing a lot of cool stuff at Eugene, like weekly, and like it definitely gets people out there, but it's like, I don't know, it is hard when you have so much like cool stuff going on every week. You don't have like a big one meet focus, which I think, I mean, is like kind of the cool way to do it. Like if there's just USA's at Eugene, like, you know, it's gonna like the Olympic trials at Eugene, you know, that's like the one thing that's gonna go off.
It went and it did go off.
But it's kind of hard when there's so much stuff. So I guess we'll just see. But hopefully you guys are doing some really cool meets there. That'll be good to see, and hopefully we can run in there.
Hopefully we get invited.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just see how it plays out. Who knows? I don't above my pay grade, to be fair.
Depends how the rest of this episode turns out, whether we get invited or not.
We'll figure it out.
I think it's been very civil so far. I would love to get more into like your past year, Elise, and like more than that. But first, I think we should just briefly talk about Chicago Marathon, just kind of a bit of a recap on what we talked about last time. So yeah, we're not great at talking about the marathon, but we did do a prediction contest on Conor Mantz. Would he run the fastest American debut marathon ever? And congratulations, Ollie.
Yeah.
Your negativity has once again prevailed.
However, my negativity could have been cut short because he wasn't that far off.
He did amazing. Second fastest ever.
I
think sixth fastest all time.
2:08.16
for US.
Really?
The 2:08.16?
Yeah. Around there.
And then the time was 2:07.52, I think.
49? That's somewhere in there. I don't know.
Whatever the time was, he was very close to it, and it was very impressive. Conor Mantz, congratulations. Pretty amazing run, honestly.
Yeah.
He's the top US marathoner right now, right?
I mean, with your debut like that, he's looking pretty good. Like if you're looking at like Paris or whatever.
He's looking pretty good.
So, and then Emily Sisson broke the women's record, which we had Emma Bates on last week. So we were obviously like talking about how amazing it is right now that there's so many different women that can break the record, and it does keep going back and forth. And it's just like probably literally like the greatest time ever for
for sure,
like the US women's marathon. So congratulations to her, I guess.
That was sick. It was sick to watch. And I think
incredible.
It was interesting to hear what Emma said last week, because she said that I think Emily Sisson DNF'd the marathon beforehand. And if you listen to the Twitter rampage that people going on about how great her run was. I think a lot of people went out really quick, but she went out quite conservative and then closed it quite hard.
Well, that race was ridiculous because because was it Kozgai? I'm not sure that the one that won, but she went out.
Ruth.
She's on 2:10 pace.
She went out so quick.
Yeah. She's on 2:10 pace.
She went out.
It was insane. When she went through the first 10, she went through the first 10K in like 29 something.
Like 30 minutes.
I was like, oh my gosh, she has 20 more miles to go.
I don't know how people do that.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, it was a cool one. I mean, yeah, we didn't really we watched a little bit of it.
We did, yeah. No, there's a lot of Twitter rampage about the coverage. The coverage was shit.
Yeah,
I think
didn't see comments on the screen once.
Yeah, I think last year though, the coverage was a lot better. I think we actually enjoyed the coverage and we're like, oh, it's an improvement. This year we didn't see any Americans. They only showed the leader for both the men and women's race, and that's it. They didn't even show any like the packs or anything, which was like.
It's tough. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, to show that. But when you know your audience is pretty invested in like certain storylines, you want to at least just get updates on those.
Particularly with like it's in like you want Americans want to see Americans, so like not showing any of the the lead Americans in the race is just kind of.
It's surprising how little they use the invention of the split screen.
Every other sport can do it. Every other sport can do it, except for the marathon. Apparently, they can't do it for the marathon.
That's been around for a wee while now.
Well, when do you think they invented it? It's not recent. It's at least a little bit.
There was a split screen. There was a split screen at the concert last night. There was a split screen at the concert.
There was. Was there?
Yeah.
There were two screens that were showing different things.
I'd be very happy to have a comparison of
I would love that too, and I think a lot of people would engage
crazy
them all.
Ideal.
I think the one thing with the marathon particularly is the storyline, so that people want to know be invested in somebody's journey, because the marathon is a very, very hard event, and
especially
and there's so much context.
We know for a fact that the Chicago Marathon is paying these people a ton of money to be there to watch, and they don't even film them.
Yeah, that is weird when you put it like that, to be honest. Yeah, especially when one of them's running the
American.
Yeah.
So
she destroyed it too. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. So yeah, Chicago, get your shit together. Come on, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Wait, what do you guys think of your fellow Aussie?
Pat Tiernan, 211.
Debut.
Good debut for him.
Was it 211? I didn't.
211.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
I think that's a pretty good debut for him. Another issue, we didn't get to see the race, so I didn't really get to know like how he was feeling or where he was.
Yeah.
I know he was behind the woman's lead.
Yeah, at like 10 like pretty deep, pretty deep into the race.
And I'm thinking like he's obviously like running a certain pace, but like that's how crazy that woman's lead was.
That's how crazy. Well, at one point when they were showing and she was like ahead of this whole pack of guys, I was like, this is
insane. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool to see Pat Tiernan have a great debut. I'm just excited. Like we love him. We know how good he is. Like we just want him to be running even quicker, So I'm so excited to see how the next one's go.
Yeah, he'll definitely get there.
So that was pretty cool. But good job, Pat. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you, Pat.
Yeah. So I don't even really know what's the best way to go about if we're doing the deep dive on Elise Cranny's last year, because you had a very, very, very interesting year. Would you say?
I would say, yeah.
I would also say that.
For a minute there, you were a 10K runner.
Yeah, for just a hot minute.
Wait, do you think of yourself as a 5K runner or a 10K or just everything?
I still don't think of myself as a 10K runner.
You don't?
No.
How many 10Ks have you run?
3.
It's actually more than I thought.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
I think you might be a 10K runner. I don't know. But so correct, like we're not like experts, like we're pretty stupid. So if we get any facts wrong,
please correct us.
Please correct us. But you and a lot of the Bowerman folk like started the year off like with a bang indoors. You guys went and ran quick 5Ks at Boston.
Short track,
obviously.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, but was that the American record you ran there?
Yeah.
As long as the previous American record is set on a short track as well,
then
it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. And it was, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think it was set in Boston, wasn't it?
I think so.
Shalane
it might have been
and Galen's?
It might have been Reggie Lewis. Shalane's might have been on Reggie Lewis.
Oh, I don't think that's a fast track, is it? Reggie Lewis?
I don't think it is, actually. Because before she was like...
We'll still give it to you.
Thanks.
I don't think she will, but
what's the conversion?
Can't be more than 14 seconds or whatever you broke it by.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Good start to the year.
Yeah, so you did that, and then you was the next race after that the 10K? Mm-hmm. And the 10K was like, was very exciting to watch. I don't know how it felt to run, but it was just a weird night because of all the stuff that happened with the lights. I don't know if So
George and I were there, so that's why I'm making that face, because we were watching it, and
you guys are battling in the 15.
Yeah.
Also thought we caught the lights on the line.
We thought we were like 2 seconds
off.
We were a second a bit off.
It was so far off.
But when George and I were watching you run, I thought you were possessed because it was just unbelievable how hard you went out the first 5K.
Well, yours was amazing.
You went out pretty incredible, and then it's kind of weird. It was the same with Grant, and Mo. For that point, is when you're watching that unfold, you actually your brain doesn't fully realize how crazy the shit you were doing. You guys were doing. It was just so crazy. But me and Jordy were watching, going we just don't know how to process this right now because it was nuts.
Didn't Grant? They had paces for 7 or 8K. Didn't you run 20 laps?
I
had pace for 3K. It's fine.
7K on your own.
It wasn't very. I do remember at one point. Looking and seeing 16 laps, and I was like, holy crap. This is going to be a long way. But shout out to Taylor Warner and Lucia Stafford for getting me through 3K, because if I had no one the whole way, that would have been
nasty.
Yeah.
So when you're running on your own for so long, are you are you focusing on the lights? Is that where your attention is going, or are you just focusing on the rhythm and all that?
I actually wish that I would have been a little more conservative the first 5K and just stayed with the lights, because I was ahead of the lights, so I actually had no gauge, and then it was pretty demoralizing when they came by me with 2 laps to go, and I was like, oh no.
That's the worst, when the lights run away from me.
That was the craziest shit to watch though. She was dropping the lights so early. Me and Jordy was what the fuck is Elise Cranny about to run?
Fuck those lights, man.
Yeah. It caught up with me with 2K to go. Yeah, so I feel just getting in a rhythm. I feel I could have done without some 70s and 71s. Maybe just stuck to the 72s.
That's so quick.
Would have been better looking back.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I don't know what happened. It was the last lap, I feel I kind of came out of some deep hole, but it wasn't quite enough.
The crowd got into it though, because we were there,
was incredible,
and we started G'ing up, and I remember the crowd really getting into it, which was sick because you were starting to catch the lights again.
Yeah.
And then with that anticipation, everyone started to pick it up, and you passed the lights, and we were all yeah, and then we found out.
Yeah, that was okay, that was pretty sad, because I look over at Shalane and Colleen, and they were you got it, and I was I'm pretty sure I didn't, because I think I saw the clock turn, and they were no, you did it, and I was oh, sick,
I did it.
Awesome, and then they were nah, you didn't.
It was sucked because everyone was so amped excited, and then all of a sudden people were slowly, people realizing oh wait, what?
There was a big lack of clarity at the time as to what actually happened. So I imagine you know exactly what happened. What did happen with the lights?
I think they were just set slightly slower because that was a pace we Jerry thought would be good to go through 5K in, but then I was ahead of them, and then I obviously at 9K, and I wasn't oh yeah, shoot, the lights are set at this pace, you should be X number of seconds ahead of the lights.
Yeah, okay. So, I think that's what we thought, but it was just tragic because you literally kicked them down.
Yeah. We were all so invested in it too, and then when we heard we were it was demoralizing. It was oh damn. Yeah. We were actually blaming the light system for a while. The bloody light system was off.
Yeah. Wait, I mean, still an absolutely amazing performance. Yeah. Obviously, you gotta be feeling pretty good after that.
Yeah.
How fucked were you though after that? It's gotta be so hard.
Yeah. Mentally as well as physically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where I did myself in for a little bit, because I think being a second and a half off, I was I gotta get back to work, which was very psycho tendency thing to do, and then I didn't take that much time off, and my body was absolutely destroyed, and I didn't realize until 3 or 4 weeks later, and then I was I feel I didn't recover from that 10K.
Yeah, it's not doing the 10K trial.
Yeah.
But good option.
But yeah,
that was kind of the down.
Yeah,
you had big ups and then some decent downs. Yeah. What was it going? I know you've talked about a bunch on Instagram and stuff, I feel but was your body just cooked?
My body was absolutely cooked. Yeah, I think I was kind of getting away with it when we were still in Portland in March. That's really getting after it.
Gus hasn't drunk water on the show for a while, but it used to be a thing so he drinks water for a really long time, and you can just hear it a little bit on the microphone. So we'll see how it goes now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we went up to Park City, and I think just like going back up to altitude just like totally did my body in. And we were just like doing workouts, and I was like finishing half of them, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's not normal.
Yeah, had to take a bit of a step back.
Yeah, what was...
Sad I didn't do the 10K.
What was like the remedy for it?
I like took a couple weeks off workouts, took like maybe a week like completely off. Just like, well, my body started to turn around.
Yeah. Were you fine like injury wise and all that?
Yeah, which I feel like is really good. Because I was, like, injured quite a bit in college, and then kind of when I first joined, so I guess a silver lining was, like, my body broke down, but not getting injured in a different way, so that was a plus.
That is a plus, because, like, an injury, like, you're stuck in a situation, whereas, like, what you went through is you know what the solution is.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And it wasn't much time. It wasn't like you're gonna have to take like 2 months.
And you
off
still had all that training. It was still there in your legs. It's
just
you needed some time to like read it.
Well, did you feel confident that like so you took time off and like I don't know, was it actual like noticeable changes in your body where like I have more energy now? Like when you got back to workouts, were you like I'm back, or were you still like I got to be like a little bit careful?
I think it like took a little while, or still just like. And then at that point, it's like you've missed some workouts, so now like everything just feels pretty horrible because you're tired and you're like, back up. Yeah. So I think that was like the biggest thing between the 10K and the 5K is trying to just be like, I don't know, I have to put the missed time out of my head and just like show up like nothing happened on the line to try to make the 5K team. Yeah. So
which is not easy to do, but you did it obviously. Congratulations.
Worked out, thanks.
And then,
worked out well.
It worked out, yeah.
I mean, it ended up coming around where, like, at World Champs, like, were you feeling pretty good by the time you got to World Champs?
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good. I think that's where, like, I'm glad that I had some, like, racing, like, in Europe the rest of the summer, too, because I feel like missing that time, I felt like I was, like, kind of coming up to Worlds and beyond. So, like, I don't know. To your point, after the 10K, like, I feel like I kind of got a second wind of, like, even, like, mental, like, being into it again, just like mental energy, I guess.
Yeah, it is weird hearing stories of like people that actually have a setback earlier in the year and then actually that little bit of like forced time off.
Sometimes it helps.
Actually like gets them further
just get
into
you
the
like
summer.
through the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It often works like that. I mean, you obviously see the opposite happen a lot where like people just make it to World Champs and then they don't race the rest of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not always the best way to be. I don't know. But I think you see it all the time. I've had that in my career. I don't know. Like Centro had that in 2016 when he won his gold. He had an injury and all that. So, although you should try to get injured next year.
Don't do that.
I gotta think about it. I gotta think about it. Well, I did. It was actually funny because like I did deal with. I don't know. You guys aren't gonna call it an injury. No, I did deal with like an injury after comms from all the travel, and I feel like the Lausanne race, like I shouldn't have done it, but it definitely gave me like a good idea of how to like progress forward to Zurich, and then running well at Zurich was like, okay, I know how to deal with a situation like that, and like I feel like that could be similar. But so do you reckon I should get injured then?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, maybe give it one more year of seeing how it goes if you don't get injured and see if that works as well. But if you haven't like won a medal at Worlds by a year from now, I would say for Paris, definitely consider it.
Well, the thing is, I could just keep going climbing with you, and then eventually I'll fall off.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure that's the type of injury you're looking for. Not sure that's the type of injury.
A climbing injury sounds horrible. I don't know if that's.
Let's just get like a nice stress reaction in your foot or something. Something that Ritz knows how to deal with.
I just fall off. I fall off the flat iron. Morgan's like, "Don't worry, it'll be good for his running career. Don't worry, Simon. It'll be good for his."
Yeah, he broke both of his legs, but in the long term, I think this is going to play out.
To fall off the flat iron and just get a second metatarsal stress reaction.
That'd be a real nice outcome. But yeah, so obviously you World Champs. I mean, you could say this about all the races, but like the women's distance races are just so crazy with how good Aaron is. And did you came 9th?
Yeah.
In the 5K, were you happy with that or?
No.
I wouldn't think you would be because of how amazing you are. But yeah, was it like? I don't know. I can't even remember how that race played out. I just think they ran really quick, right? At some point.
It was. I just got absolutely obliterated the last K. Like you kind of feel like you're in it, and then you're just like, nah, I'm so far off.
The 1500 girl won it. She came second in the 1500, right? And then she came back and won the 5K.
Yeah.
Hey, that's similar in the men's.
Was it?
Yeah, Jakob got second to 15 on the 5K.
Yeah. What a connection to
make. What a connection to make.
Incredible.
What a George classic moment. I know, sometimes you come up with those really good connections.
It was you.
No, it was you. I think it was you, George. Anyway,
moving on.
So goals, obviously, goals always when you go on a race like that at Worlds, you want to win, you want a medal.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the experience you got from getting 9th in a race like that is gonna, like, what have you learned to get to Budapest and think, all right, I'm gonna medal, I'm gonna win?
It's the most cliched question ever.
Yeah. Well, I want to know. That's why
I would actually like to know as well.
Yeah, that's why it's a cliche question, but I want to know.
You're hating on this question, but you really want to know.
I actually do want to know because like it's just so crazy when you get to those kind of events. It's like, how do I make that jump forward? And I feel like you've like been incredible this past year. So I thought you were gonna medal and get close to it, but I'm interested to see what you think would get you there.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's like such a big jump. I don't know. Going back to like Tokyo, I felt like so in over my head. Like I felt like I was just like, I have never been in a race like this. And so then I think like going into Worlds this year, I was like, okay, now I feel like I know how to like put myself like in the race a bit more. But I think it's like, I mean, even like watching like Grant and Mo in like the 5 and 10, it's just like, I don't know, wanting to like be in the top 5 with like 600 to go. Because at that point you're like feeding off of everyone's like energy and you're like in it, you know? Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, I think that's like this year. It's like I felt like I was getting that for like more of the race compared to Tokyo, like through, I don't know, like 3.5, 4K. But then you're like, yeah, at the last K when like things are really going and you're kind of like stuck in no man's land, like you're just not getting the energy from the race.
So like just being closer, and then when you get into that 600 to go and you're in that position, you just know the energy's going to be there to take you through.
Yeah, kind of thing. I think that comes from like, I don't know, more training and consistently.
More Diamond League release.
Okay, no, but actually, I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, of like, I do feel that way. Like I do, like the time trials are great because you can like show yourself, I think, or like surprise yourself and run fast. Why are you guys saying?
I'm not laughing.
What do you have to say, Ollie?
No, the time trial v competitive racing. We've had that discussion on the podcast.
Different.
I definitely agree with you that time trialing is good to see where you're at. However, the amount of racing I do for my event, I wouldn't sacrifice the competitiveness for the time trial.
No, I agree.
That's 1,500 running.
Yeah.
But I think
I still feel that. I mean, like Chris and I have talked about this a lot, and I think like to your point of like asking like how to prepare for like future global races is like more racing at that level, because I do think like it is like, I think the Diamond League races like prepare you for that, of like, okay, maybe it's like a conservative start and then it's like you have to be ready to close in like close to 4 flat pace for like the last K or 800.
100%.
And that's not something that you're like necessarily like you're not getting in a time trial because it's like perfectly paced.
Well, you're also not getting the athletes too. You're knowing the athlete. Like I think if you, Carissa and Alicia, are in those Diamond League races, then as Americans, like you're experiencing other countries and their best athletes, how they compete, how they work, how their tactics are.
And you get to know them, which I think is
you know them as well, which is great. Like it's a great part of our sport.
Ollie knows his competitors really well, especially Jakob. They're really close.
Jingy, if you're listening, I miss you. But
does he listen to the coffee club?
Probably not.
We're convinced that Henrik does.
Henrik, I think I've semi-confirmed that. But Jakob and I are on first name basis. So
they're romantic.
Nickname basis.
Nickname basis. Yeah, he calls me why bother.
No, he calls you whole bag.
He calls me whole bag.
What's up, whole bag?
Nah, but Jakob's a legend. Soft spot for my boy. But in general, getting sidetracked. I think, having you 3 US women like in those races in those Diamond Leagues, you know your competitors. I think once you get to the world's like world champ 5K final and Olympics and onwards, you just know you've been around these people before. The energy's the same. Well, it's not the same energy, but it's the same kind of vibe with those people. You just know how.
I think you're more like comfortable and confident too.
Whereas a time trial offers you a time, but doesn't offer you that kind of experience.
Yeah.
And like I think the US women in particular now are definitely in a position as US men, like Grant, to medal.
Yeah.
But having more experience against those guys that are used to just racing each other all the time would be like huge.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
That's always advice.
I'm not saying I know anything. However, I feel like that's why my 1,500 meter running,
I agree.
I think it's gotten so much better. It's because I'm racing those type of people all the time.
Yeah.
This is Coffee Club trying to take some credit.
Yeah.
And to follow on with that,
I'm trying to do that.
Going out on a limb, I feel like we might have talked about this before, about you. 10K, rode off your body quite a lot. Why don't you run the 1500?
Oh, I mean... Question, George. Great question.
I think you're a 1500 runner.
I mean, I still think I'm a 1500 runner. I still think I'm a 1500 runner. And I do, I mean, okay, to your point too of like when I was racing in Europe this summer and it's like you're racing every week and you're running, I mean, it was really fun to do no 5Ks and run like 3K, 1500s.
5K, I hate 5Ks. I can't confirm that because I had to run one.
Like you've run 359? 358?
359.
359.
Yeah, so you're sub 4.
Basically, would you run 2 flat?
Yeah.
I don't think there's many girls that can outkick you in the last 50 meters.
I have
you have 10K strength.
Trust me, I want to run the 15.
Right. This is my.
We're all on board.
We're all on board.
So when I run the 15 this upcoming year, you guys can take.
Well, when you run for Coffee
Club, that's what I was.
Because now you're a dedicated member of Coffee Club Track Club because you've been on the podcast. Everybody that comes on the pod is part of the Track Club.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, the Track Club's really growing.
The one thing I was thinking is Jerry. I feel like Jerry's much more focused with the 5-10K kind of style of training, which then would lead to not having too much focus on the 1500 meter training. That could change. But
Ollie's proposing to be your coach. If you would
be my assistant coach?
I could hold your spikes and make sure that everything's okay. I couldn't coach you. That's too much pressure.
You can tell me to race more.
That's not an opinion. Is that your opinion you're trying to share, or is that coming up?
No, my opinion is that I think Jerry's not interested in coaching 1500 meter runners specifically. I think he's interested in having 1500 meter runners in his team, but I think he's more coaching wise. It seems like 5-10K based training.
I don't think that's that much of a hot take, though.
Yeah.
No, the thing is they have... Okay, Cooper Tier just joined Bowerman, 1500 meter runner.
No, he's not a 1500 meter runner.
Cooper Tier is a 1500
He's going to be a 5K.
Yeah, but he is a 1500 meter runner. He has run the 1500. He's the US 1500 meter champion.
But do you think one of the main reasons he's going to be a 5K runner is because he's joined?
No, I think he would have anyway. I'm
he's a US 1500 meter champ.
Yes, the US man. Like, that's not impressive.
Okay, now I'm not spitting the hot takes. You are spitting the hot takes right now.
Okay, that was obviously a joke, but
yeah, but in general, I'm thinking
we got 3 non-US.
Those athletes like they're like Josh Thompson and Centro. Shout out to my boy Centro, Cilantro. Like those guys are 1500 meter runners, but I feel like they're in like a 5-10K program, and it's just hard to like. I guess the 1500 meters run like that now, a little bit. Strength.
Well, I guess we have like a ton of 1500 meter runs, but like a year ago, we could have said that about you.
But the thing is,
I think we still can.
Kind of say that. However, Dathan has been more specific with my training, and he did mention that like the training leading towards that type of championship, much more speed 1500. Like my mileage is not that high.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like
just 100.
Maybe with Jared,
just 100, 105.
That's my opinion. There's no grounds for that opinion. I just feel like that maybe Jerry's more like 5-10K.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all think Elise 1500 meters would be great to.
I think Elise's best event is probably the 5K, but I think
me and George are thinking 15.
No, I think in terms of maybe success at the world stage, I think it's easier to be a 1500 meter runner. Like in terms of, it's like more people can win. Yeah, I do.
For the 15 for women.
Yeah,
I'd say both.
Well, I would just say, you know what I'm saying?
The gap is like smaller. Like I don't think it's necessarily. I don't think you're saying like the top of like getting a medal in any one event, but it's like because the event is shorter. It's like you can be in that race with like 200 to go versus like the margin if you have like in a 5 or a 10 of like. People running like
that's all I'm trying to say. Not to offend you all.
No, you're not offending me. I just like we have like particularly the 1500 meter women like this amazing runner like Laura Meal, Faith.
Yeah, name them all.
I mean, the women's 15 is like so deep,
but so is the 5K for the women as well.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not comparing them.
But what Morgan is saying is that like the gap, like
I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah,
like being world class in the 5K is like 30 seconds away from the guys at the top, whereas world class in 1500 is like
you say that for the 100 too.
2 or 3 seconds.
2
or 3 seconds.
Like, is the smaller the distance, the more.
Yeah, but
except for the 400 meter hurdles where Sydney McLaughlin's like 4 seconds ahead of everyone.
Yeah, I don't know if it goes all the way down to the 100, but.
But I think you see that in like medals, like U.S. I think the highest finish for a U.S. woman in a global championship in the 5K is like 6th or 7th.
Yeah, and it's so hard.
It's like the U.S. has like multiple medals in the 1500 for women,
that's
or
really
people that have placed top 5. Like that's when I heard that in Tokyo, I was absolutely mind blown.
Yeah, that's blowing my mind right now. I thought you guys are definitely not on the 5K. Oh, there you go.
It's just so hard.
It's just crazy. It's just like.
But hopefully you can change that.
Yeah, so you're gonna be the first one then.
That's a goal.
We've heard it here first. We're claiming it right now.
We heard it on the Coffee Club podcast.
If it happens, we're claiming it right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that takes anything away from getting another medal in the 1500.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Don't worry, I won't leave the 1500.
You can double bubble it, it's fine.
You can double bubble it.
Double bubble.
Yeah, my couple of conclusions from this past 20 minutes of talking is, 1, Elise, I think you're on the right track.
Thank you, Morgan.
2,
I appreciate it.
2, I think that next time you have a meeting with Jerry, you should probably bring Ollie to the meeting as an advocate.
I think we'll phone you in to talk about the upside of competitive diamond league racing overtime trial.
I can't wait to have that phone call, and then I just hear Joe go, so who is this? No, but I think George and I definitely feel strongly about Elise Cranny running the 1500 meters.
We just become consultants.
we're just
people's event choices.
At this point, we're just fans, and we want you to run the 1500. That's all we want.
We just want to see Elise run the 15. Is that too much to ask for?
Come on,
Jerry. Is that too much to ask for?
Please, Jerry, please.
I do love it. This summer, reignited my love of the 15.
I mean, the thing
I raced it in Monaco, and I was like, wow, that was so fun. It was over so quickly. It was really exciting. I felt super engaged.
That's it. The 5K is just so hard.
Not that you need to know.
Yeah, well, I haven't run in Monaco yet. That's like one of my dreams, and you've already ticked that box. So,
let's go back to removing the 5K from the Diamond League.
No.
Remember when that was happening?
That was such a dumb move. Another question for Elise. The Diamond League final, that track thing. Yes. You did that the first year.
Yes, I did.
We got feedback from our teammate Alicia Monsoon.
Yeah, what did she think about it?
She hated it. And I think I know your opinion on it too. Yeah. You hate it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also think my opinion was skewed by the fact that I was absolutely toasted at that point, and I was running by myself and almost got lapped on a.
It looks so hard though. It's hard.
Okay, you just get no rhythm.
Yeah.
Because at first when they were talking about it, I was like, okay, it just seems like it will be an indoor track. It seems kind of cool. But the one bank is so steep, you fall off it, and then you go from having give on the banks to just rolled out track surface on the road. So every time you go off a curve, you're just the energy is just absolutely zapped from your legs.
That sounds horrible.
Because you're just running on track surface.
The 5K is bad enough as is.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
It already feels so bad.
You don't need to make it harder.
Yeah.
So Sebco, come on.
Yeah.
Sebi, my boy. I mean, that cost millions, didn't it, to set up
the
track? I think Dathan's trying to
some
buy
amount of money.
It's good training. Do training course.
He's gonna buy it and bring it here.
Buy it, bring it here, and just use it as a training course to if we just complain about training, he's like, you want to make it harder? We'll make it harder. And just get on this.
But we'll put it in an indoor facility so then we can stay in the winter because we can't use the senior facility. So
Mark Wheatmore.
Take that, Mark. And you can't. Then Mark Wetmore's athletes won't be able to use that.
It's alright. Now it's getting so big now that they're gonna have their own indoor track, and then we can use that.
That'd be perfect.
That'd be good, right? They'll call it the Elise Cranny indoor track, and it'll be the exact same model from the Diamond League final.
Perfect. That'll be great.
You do have a hill named after you, don't you?
Yes. What? So I'm told. I thought it was called something different, but now I've heard that they changed the name. But I don't know if that's official or not. I thought it was called Hartman Hill.
And then I've heard people say Cranny Hill.
Yeah, I've heard that recently.
The one we warm up at now, the big one.
Oh, that's on the trail.
It used to be Hartman Hill.
I heard it was still Hartman Hill. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
an old Ritz's man.
Next time we go up that hill, I'll just go, this is Cranny Hill.
It's a really hard hill to run
up. It is really hard. It is really hard.
Especially when you warm down.
Well, even warming up, it sucks. I'm wow, I feel terrible.
We run that hill every single track workout. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I don't know if that is, George.
If I was you, at least I'd probably pick a nicer hill.
Yeah.
I don't know how much control
you guys
can.
One of you can name it after yourself.
We'll do some scouting, and we'll look for a hill, and we'll send you pictures of the hill, and say is this hill appropriate, acceptable, and then you can give the.
Every time we run, I feel fucking Elise. God, this hill sucks.
It's kind of weird that you didn't get to have approval on it. It just happened.
Yeah, I just started to hear that through. I think it was last year. I ran with some people on the Niwot team, and they were like, "Did you know this hill's named after you?" And I was like, "I still thought it was Hartman Hill." So
crazy generations, huh? Things have changed. Things have changed indeed. Well, I think this has been an absolutely lovely conversation. We don't want to keep you here all day. Is there any other grievances to air? Any other things to say?
No, I feel pretty good.
At least anyone you want to shout out?
I hope that this has changed your whole entire opinion of Bowerman.
Next week we're just back. Always just going on.
The thing is, my opinion on...
Thank God Elise is gone. We can finally be honest.
Back to regularly scheduled programming.
My opinion on Elise Cranny... My opinion on Elise Cranny hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten better.
Yeah, we knew you were amazing.
We knew you were amazing.
It's separate.
Wow.
With Bowerman, it's like I'd have to go on training camp with Bowerman to fully know, like, you know, that my opinion on Bowerman changed. I just have an opinion now that in Eugene, you guys are going to be controlling everything. It's just going to be there's going to be like, you know how there's Mount Rushmore? It's just going to be Jerry carved into one of the mountains.
Except all 4 pictures of Jerry's face.
It's always face is like just like happy, sad, angry, smile, like just like that kind of thing. But I mean. Definitely, we'll see.
Maybe Red Rocks, Woody and Grant, maybe the 3 of us can change.
We're going to be so close after that.
We're going to be so close. I mean, if we can get Woody and Grant on the pod.
Yeah, we'll see.
That would be,
I don't know what their schedules are.
It seems too good to be true.
Yeah.
That seems like a dream of mine.
We don't need to do everything right now. We can give it time.
We've already ticked off a lifetime goal.
Baby steps.
Yeah. I think having Elise on the podcast is a very big step for us. So thank you very much for coming on.
I'm truly honored to have come on the Coffee Club podcast. I feel like my life is significantly better.
I hope so.
Having been on the podcast.
I hope so.
And seeing the behind the scenes of the setup of the pod.
Yeah, it's
and met Gus.
It's very impressive. Gus, obviously the highlight.
He's doing business calls right now.
He couldn't stay for the whole thing. Apologies, but that's episode 56. Thank you everyone for listening. See you guys next week.